and Eli Meekum,
And
Marshall Meekum.
Marshall?
Yeah.
And I don't look so good on camera.
Vigilante.
I wondered.
That's Cliff.
Hi, Cliff.
Hi.
I didn't know they had a judge up here.
Yeah, I've been here over 34 years. And my great-great-grandpa moved in from Denmark.
I run
It's
a
a
judge
wonderful
many
place.
years ago for a judge twice up in Morgan.
Ah, who was the judge?
Why
Do you
would this
remember?
be a wonderful
Hadley.
place? Fuck you.
What is his name?
Don't tell me to shut up, you stupid fuck.
He is not your
Tony
spokesman.
Hassel.
Tony Hassel. Okay.
Hey,
you know him?
dipshit. You didn't come from the same world I did.
I think he lives in his own world.
No, you're manic depressive. And you probably have Korsakoff psychosis. You want to play fucking psychology with me,
Well,
dipshit?
no, I don't. I don't remember him.
Yeah, he was a very corrupt guy. I
Hey,
really
Cliff,
done a lot of research on
Cliff.
him.
Really?
He
spend
thinks this
his
is a wonderful
weekends
place
up
where they
the-
beat up old men.
He spent his weekends up in Wyoming at the
Yeah, the
porno
chief of
shop
police
every
is definitely
weekend.
out of control and
And
needs to
there were
go.
People that would watch him all the time, and I run against him, but I didn't win. But because he was a football player and all this,
He was in
Great.
good shape and could run well.
Well, not really then, but he was when he was in high school. But he was also head of Moita.
I don't know what Moita is.
That's where they send all the bad kids.
Oh, okay.
Big.
The ones that don't conform to,
So where
all
are
the
you guys
rules.
I live here in Brigham.
Where are you from?
from? Mantua.
Mantua. Oh.
Wow, what a fucked up place.
Brigham's nice though. I
I
spend
live out
most
in the
of my
country though, further out.
west.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you want to explain yourself while you're making fun of Mexicans inside?
Nobody was making fun of Mexicans
Really?
except you.
You did, you dipshit. And you're telling me I did? You're a fucking liar. How about that, motherfucker?
You really have
Language. Yeah. You didn't grow up in the same way. Your mother. And she gives me the
Your
soldier's
mom told you
discount
that,
too.
right?
No, dipshit. I just
should
told you,
wash
your
your mouth
mother.
out. You shouldn't kiss anybody.
Fuck
with a
you.
filthy mouth
Fuck
like
you. Fuck you. Do something
there you
about
go.
it. Do something about
I'll
it,
ignore
shithead.
it.
You have no balls. Don't stand in front of me like that, motherfucker. You think you're a fucking king of the hill? Huh?
I thought it would be nice to at least meet you guys.
Oh, bullshit. You want to come out and
but-
kiss my ass and try to be a friend? Fuck you. And if you walk up on me again like you just did, I'm going to lay you out on the fucking ground. You've been warned.
Are you threatening
You did that.
me?
You did that on
Are
purpose.
you
I'm
threatening
warning
me?
you.
You're
A
threatening
warning
me?
is for the benefit of two people.
Okay.
You're going to do it again? See, you're doing it again?
You are walking up on him.
Yeah. And you've
You
been
are
warned.
walking up on him.
That's right.
We have it on
And
camera
you've been,
right here.
how interesting, because you're a stupid ass. You think you're a judge out here without your fucking robe. Everybody kisses your ass. I'm not going to kiss your ass.
Nobody's asked you to do that.
Shut the fuck up. Nobody asked you to come out here with my friends
Well,
either.
We can ignore this guy.
Oh, you gonna ignore me, Deloy?
No, I don't ignore him. I just listen to him.
Well, he's loud. It's hard.
He is.
Yes.
You want loud?
We've got
I
it.
can do loud.
You did good.
Yeah, 20 years in the Army,
So,
I put up with
what did
dipshits
you-
like you that ran away.
Judge Christensen hasn't, but give you guys do much favor, has he?
Christensen? That
Kevin
was-
Christensen.
Yeah. He hasn't pled guilty to anything yet. And the law, gratefully, presumes innocence until you...
Well, unless
have
you're
the
in
case
his
proved.
court.
Are you a child pedophile too? Because only they would say that and excuse Christensen.
I've
Three
been to his
judges
court many,
in
many times.
Utah
Sorry.
I
let
go to
3
his court
pedophiles
as
go
a-
under
as a
technicalities
observer.
like you.
So, you hang out with these guys all the time?
No, not all the time. Just
Okay.
I know you.
These
Notice this
guys?
dumbass.
Why did you say
Turn your
these
back
guys?
Like those people? Are you a racist?
Don't
Are
know
you
what
xenophobic?
these
Are you xenophobic?
I don't think I've said anything disparaging to you at all.
Well, no.
You're an asshole.
That's
Why
just
are you
this-
walking up on me?
Well, why are
again?
you lumping me with him? We're two different people.
Yeah.
Well, he's just standing next to you.
Well, that's okay. He's a good
Yeah.
friend of mine.
Oh, good.
But we're
You must
two
be a
different
dipshit for
people.
standing next to me.
So when you say those guys,
Yeah,
you're
you're an
saying I'm
asshole.
like him?
We won't let anything
Am I?
happen.
See, your problem is you
That
think
will
you're a
be
judge
against
out
law.
here, and you're not.
I'm just a citizen. I
You're
just
an
came out
asshole
to
is what
see
you are.
What you guys
I
are
hope
up to.
everybody in the community sees this. They're going to.
Well, how interesting.
How interesting.
He's already had the law out there on us today earlier.
Okay.
But I'm a marshal, so we're trying.
What kind of marshal?
Continental marshal. All I do is try to keep the peace. I'm not under law enforcement.
Okay.
Big difference. You probably never heard of them.
We've had some constitutionalist folks occasionally that are real advocates for strict
Hey,
interpretation.
I'm going
of
in
the
the car.
Constitution.
I got something to do.
Okay.
If I want to go talk to assholes, I'll go in the bathroom.
Okay.
And you're filming me as well?
Of course.
Why?
Anytime I interact with government officials, I
Okay, I'm not
turn the
acting
camera
as a
on.
government official.
Anytime, but you are a government official. You're a judge, correct?
That's why I don't
yeah.
film.
Yeah.
I'm a,
So I always record
I'm a
my
big
government
peacemaker.
officials.
Okay.
I just don't want nothing to happen to these guys. And sometimes you worry about it, you know.
Constitutional advocates is what we are.
And I love the Constitution. In fact, that's my job, is to
Really?
enforce the Constitution. And even statutory rules.
So
Many
can I ask
judges-
you a question?
Sure.
What are the 5 elements of the First Amendment?
Freedom of speech.
Yes.
Let him
I'm
answer.
just going to say
Well,
one.
sure. The ones that we focus mostly on are the 4th, 5th, 6th Amendments.
Oh, no. I'm talking about the First Amendment. What is the 5 elements of the First Amendment?
Religion, speech, press. The nice thing is that you
Well,
have the
you got
right
3.
to-
That's 3.
Well, the nice thing is that you have
you know
the
what 4 and
right
5
to
are?
petition the government for redress of grievances.
There's 4.
Yes, that's
And
a
the second,
very
too.
Four.
And second's important.
What's
too.
the 5th?
Maybe
what's the
not
5th
to you.
element?
Bearing arms is important.
Judge, what's the 5th element of the First Amendment?
Right.
You got 4 out of the 5.
I'm not really thrilled about being on YouTube or,
Yeah.
or whatever you're going to do.
We're in public.
Please don't do that.
We're in
I'm
public.
asking you not to.
You're asking me not to what? Ask questions?
Don't.
You said
publish
you
things.
love the
I
Constitution.
do, and I'm
So,
grateful for it.
freedom of press.
Yes.
Freedom
Thank
of
you.
press, yeah.
But are you
I
guys
appreciate
the
that.
press?
Yes.
Well, sometimes it's oppressing.
Do you know what the press is and what it's for and why they implemented
Well,
it?
it's to provide true information, accurate information.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
That's
Yeah.
what we want
Yeah.
to make our decisions on.
We don't get
Some
much of
of
that no
it-
more.
Do you know the reason why they put press in there as a freedom in the First Amendment?
Tell me why.
Historically?
Yeah.
Is to shame our government officials into acting with nobility. Press. To put pressure on them. To watch over them. To make sure they're doing the right things. That's freedom of press.
Well,
And I will publish whatever I want with that freedom.
Doesn't matter if it's true or accurate. Just whatever.
Doesn't
you
matter
want.
if it's true or accurate. Yeah.
That's the risk.
But I will be true and accurate.
I take it you're LDS.
The camera
right?
doesn't lie, right?
Yeah, you're LDS.
The camera does not lie,
Even
correct?
one of the apostles said recently.
Now, actually,
I don't
you
know
can
how to
hardly
edit it.
trust
I don't know how to edit.
anything that you see.
I don't edit.
That's what my dad used to say. Don't trust anything you see, or never trust anything you hear. You only have what you see.
And now it's even what you see is even more risky.
Oh yeah, with
This
artificial
could be
intelligence.
totally screwed up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
I could
you
edit,
would
but
be
I
able
don't.
to be able to think.
I don't
Well,
edit
thank you.
anything. Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who do.
So the 5th element of the First Amendment that you missed was right to assemble. And we're assembled right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
To petition. That's
Yeah.
part of the
No,
petition
no,
to
it's
government for redress.
Assemble is the right to assemble, and then petition your grievances to your government is another one.
Yeah,
They are separate from each other.
And we allowed Mr. English to come in and go potty.
Allowed,
Sure.
or does he have a right to do it?
To go potty.
Does he have a right, or did you allow him?
We let him.
You let him.
Sure. Come on in. You guys can go potty too if you need to.
It's okay.
Because you're full of.
I have a right
some
to
of
because I
this.
pay for this building. I pay for this building, so I have a right to
How do
go
you
in
do
there and go to the restroom if I
it? How do you
want.
pay for it?
Taxes.
Where do you live? Do you live
It doesn't
downtown?
matter where I live.
But-
You receive federal funds,
Really?
do you?
I
I'm
don't think
asking.
so. I don't know.
I'm sure you do. You
I
get
don't.
grants. The city. That's City Hall, right?
It is.
Yeah,
It used to be
yeah.
the school where my dad
Okay.
and grandpa went to
That's our
grade
profession
school.
anyway, because a lot of the fines you get are not from here. People that pay you fines come from all over, I'm sure.
Yeah, and about 46% of anything collected here goes to the state.
I'm probably going to go up and buy a pack of cigarettes. So
That's why
I'm sure you have sales tax here, right?
Do they pay judges as
I
well
don't
as
think we
they?
have anybody here that can sell you cigarettes.
Really? Is there an ordinance
I see your
against selling
store closed. What
cigarettes?
happened to the store?
Have they taken that freedom away?
You know, if he's going to film everything,
Yeah, always. I'm always filming government
wow, that's
officials.
strange.
I don't.
You might think it's
Those
strange.
guys are auditors. These guys are auditors. I'm just a marshal trying to keep the peace. I worry about.
Yeah.
I got a dozen different guys.
We're just having a conversation.
You know,
Yeah.
just
That's all.
if it looks like we're going to get too rowdy, then it's time.
I'm not being argumentative. I'm just having
You
a
just
conversation
bring
with him.
English along for that end?
No, he actually brought me along.
To
So keep him
Keep things
tamed a
cool.
little bit, you know.
good job.
He's not controllable. I mean, he's a free man.
So,
So
can I ask a couple of questions? Just
sure, I may or may
So
not
you're
answer
from
him.
Brigham? Sure. That's where I grew up as a kid. Then I've been back in Mantua for a long time. Brigham's a nice place.
I actually grew up in Thatcher Penrose.
Way out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tremont's where I was born. Remember that old building that's still there?
Mhm.
That's where I was born, in that old building. I can't believe it's still there. I'm 75. I think it'd be long gone by now.
Oh, you're only 9 years ahead of me.
Oh, you're young. You're young.
Well, for a few more years.
It
And-
catches up with you.
Where'd you grow up?
Where did I grow up?
Are you a local?
Here, there, and everywhere.
You don't want to say?
No, I don't want to say.
Well, that's what you're tricking everybody with.
Tricking?
Yes, by filming
Because I don't want to
everything.
tell you where I grew up?
Sure.
Because you're trying to gather information about me?
And you're trying to do the same.
As press, I have a right to do that.
The one
But
thing
what if
about a
I was-
human being, you can get all the information you want,
Yeah.
but
I'm sure you'll figure out who I am
9/10 of it
eventually.
never retains. You know.
Except
where
if
I'm
it's on
from.
film.
Well, yeah, because
You'll figure out who I am and where I'm
lie.
from eventually.
I'm not. I'm not gonna. This is probably my last conversation.
Oh,
It was nice to meet you, and I do like the citizens of our country and appreciate those that love the Constitution and are willing to stand.
You know
up for
Judge
the
Maynard?
Constitution. Sure.
He's a great. I think he's a pretty good judge.
Yeah.
well, there's good judges.
He's the
Sure.
only judge I've ever seen that's got the Constitution on the back wall.
I don't know you, so I don't know if you're a good judge or not. So, I'm not making any opinions on that yet.
He come out and talk to us.
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
he? So that's not. that
And he's
doesn't
being
get
cordial,
bad.
and
Most
so am
judges
I.
wouldn't,
Yeah, we're being cordial with each other.
You know,
Just-
but he's. You know, when somebody says he's their judge, I says, well, you got a chance. But some of them other guys, I'm not so sure. Now Logan, I do a lot of Logan. I go everywhere. Logan's got some really bad ones.
I don't know any of bad ones myself.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't because it's like.
Well, even if he did, he wouldn't say. He's on camera.
And sometimes you don't know everybody's life, and that's
Right.
Yeah.
And so you get surprised every once in a while.
Well, I've known Judge Christensen quite well, and 5 years ago, I tried to get him on some stuff, and nobody had even listened. So I learned real quick that you're wasting your time.
Yeah, the judicial branch of our government they've taken over the government pretty much.
Oh, you want to?
Marbury versus Madison,
But
1803.
in his favor, in the last couple years since I've watched him, he's been a lot better.
Okay.
He's gotten a lot better with people and not so aggressive as he used to be.
The judiciary branch has pretty much bastardized the Constitution.
Okay, and I don't think so. But if you take a look at the Bar Journal, there's a very nice article to this last time that talks about the Constitution and the different roles of government. And the legislature is the power of House.
Yeah.
They
Marbury versus Madison, 1803.
they
That's
make the
why.
rules,
Yeah.
And then they control the purse.
That's where the real corruption.
Well, they don't really control the purse.
They do.
Yeah, they do, and they
Congress does.
Well,
Well,
that's the legislative.
Right, the legislative branch. There's supposed to be 3 equal
Well,
branches of
I run-
they're
power.
not quite equal.
I run for the House.
Right, the judiciary took over in 1803. Said that we'll interpret the Constitution for you. Like I couldn't understand it when I was 7
Who's your
years old when I read it.
representative up
For
here? Your House, the House of Representatives.
good question.
Tom Peterson.
I stay out of politics.
I don't.
So do I.
I try to.
Red states,
I
blue
go down there
states,
all the
two
time.
wings of the same bird of tyranny.
I spent a lot of time fighting for the Second Amendment in Utah, and it's really helped. Utah's got the best, one of the best constitutional. I mean, they're better than most. Lots of people lost track of it, but they're better than most.
We have a lot of great things in this country. We're not perfect. We've done some crazy things in the past as a nation, and we'll probably do some crazy things in the future, but we're trying to be good people and respect people's rights. And
You do realize that we are no longer a free country, right?
depends on
Freedom
what you,
isn't free.
depends on what you
That's how I
consider
interpret it.
We're not a free country.
Freedom is not free. It's
We are
very
slaves to the
expensive
state.
to stay free. I mean, you think
We
about
live
what
in an
we're doing to
open-air
stay
prison.
free To other from other countries and everything, it's not free. Look
We-
at these
we
guys.
all live
They're
in an
all
open-air
veterans.
prison.
These guys are all veterans.
veterans of war.
Veterans of what? Are you asking if I'm a veteran?
Just seeing if you'll answer any question.
I will. Yeah, I'm a veteran of the
what?
United States Army.
Okay, Army.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got relatives from the Army and Air Force, and nobody from the maybe great grandpa was in the Army.
I got two brothers. One was Marine and one was Army. And the Army guy got shot twice.
Yeah. Ouch.
But my older brother was a sniper. He killed people on our side.
Why?
So sometimes it's necessary. Not everybody on our side are really on our side. He hated it too. He hated every minute of it. Because some of them were generals and stuff, you know. He says that the day he died, before the day he died, so that's the biggest regret he ever had was them doing that to him.
Okay.
But
I'm sorry to hear that.
you know, it's like any group. There's always a couple bad apples somewhere.
Yeah.
They're not always the best.
Well, we're people.
Yeah, right.
And people are flawed.
I mean, that's like going to church and saying everybody in that church is 100% straight. Not true.
Now that's probably where they're going. To
Might
get
be.
straightened out.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
And you guys, I don't particularly think it's effective, your buddy's approach, swearing and calling me names and
I tell him that
telling
all
me
the time.
that, but I'm not offended.
That's just his way of expressing himself.
So which branch of,
He
He's
was
Army.
He was Army. He was a Green Beret.
And he used to go to the temple all the time, too. That really blows your mind, right?
I had a uncle that was in military police in the Army,
Yeah, he was in military police as well.
Yeah, he was, too.
and his fists were like twice, three size the size of mine, and you never messed with him.
That guy is 77 years old, and he's got way more energy than I do.
Yeah, he's hard to keep up with.
Yeah,
Well,
he's very passionate about what he does.
My biggest thing is keeping people alive, keeping them alive, because I've had 4 people killed in the last year.
you know, I chatted with a buddy that used to be a sniper, and that would be a tough.
It would be a tough job. But it's the way they choose them. It's the way they choose them. They're not choosing the smartest guy in the world. You know, not just any.
You've been practicing, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, just pretend it's not even there. Like I said, I don't edit my
Actually,
stuff.
you know, I think it'd
So,
be a good thing.
It's
to
just a
have you
camera,
on
objective
video for
witness
people
of
who they were
everything.
dealing with when they come up here.
Well, I'm not sure this would be explaining who I am.
Well, maybe not.
You know what scares me about YouTube?
And I may publish and I may not
AI.
publish. It's a,
You know, AI.
Oh yes, that is spooky.
Oh, a lot of guys, they turn it over to AI and it comes out totally different.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's
totally
why,
wrong.
as evidence, you have to show chain of custody.
Yeah.
You can't have any gap because it could be total bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Good.
we've got to be really careful. And it's used to be you can trust a picture, but now
No, you can't.
no.
Well, yeah, if
Last year,
if
the
it's
kid,
manipulated, I
Chase,
don't
you remember
manipulate my
Chase
stuff
Allen
at
that was
all.
killed there in Farmington about a year ago.
Why was he killed?
The cops killed him.
I don't recall.
But anyway, that was an out and out.
The
murder.
video that the police department put out,
You get on the
they
internet and see it, but
they manipulated the video.
I avoid
They
that
put
kind
I
of
his
don't blame you.
right hand on his left arm.
You know, I had a guy at one of these big lectures that says, if you guys would quit wasting your time on YouTube and start going out and doing something and make this country better, you'd be better. And he'd come over to me and he says, well, what do you think of that? And I said, well, you know where I learned about you? On YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be okay with me if you don't publish it.
And if I don't want to, I won't. And if I do want to, I will.
I'll never look at it, but
That's
just so
that's
you know.
okay. Yeah, you don't have to.
Nice to have met you.
Nice to
And
meet you.
Nice to have
if
met
you
you.
do good to make the world a better place,
Yep.
thank you.
Well, and see,
That's
you know,
what I'm
I mean,
working on.
sometimes you have to have, even though it's hard to do, you have to have these auditors out there seeing what's going on. Or there's things that
People
there's
are too
things that
busy
you
working
miss
their
a mile
40-hour
away
work
that
week.
happen all the time to people.
Well, how many times have you been in Costco trying to find something and it's right there, but you can't see it?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, the camera will pick it up
And so
though.
these cameras don't lie. I mean, it's like,
Well, okay.
I'm not happy
I
about
can't trust them that well.
no. Well, they can be altered very easy. You can go out.
They can be. You're right about that.
You can get a 44.
I won't do that because I'm not a liar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
Did you want to say your name? I'm Kevin.
I go by the vigilante.
I don't even know his name. His name's Cliff.
I go by the vigilante. The Vigilance Committee is how you'll be able to find me on YouTube.
Is it local? Is it?
You'll know if you go to my channel
Anything
and
that's
watch
on
my
YouTube
stuff.
is everywhere.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, just give it a peek.
I thought it was. We went to a council meeting. He was there, and they asked him to do the flag, and they introduced him. They said, "What's your name?" The vigilant, the vigilante, and they said, "The vigilante. We're having a vigilante do the flag." Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, enjoy the sunshine.
Well, you know,
You too.
I don't get up here much, but I've always enjoyed this. You had one guy that I had up here. I don't know whether you ever knew him, Alan or Adam. No, he fell in the lake over here. He went over into a house, and of course there was a Karen that he went into his uncle's garage.
Okay.
And this has happened here. This happened here. He went into his uncle's garage, but his uncle wasn't there, so he went in his car to try to dry off. Well, the Karen across the street saw him and called the cops. So they went in there and they arrested him.
He doesn't know what a Karen is.
You know what a Karen is. Everybody knows what a Karen is.
Okay.
Anyway, they arrested him, but they found a spoon, a straw, and some white stuff. So they got him for narcotics, supposedly. And I'm telling you now, if you was a judge, and they brought that evidence to court, a spoon, a straw, and the white stuff, and they found out the white stuff was nothing but flour. He still got charged with having drugs. He got the maximum sentence, and it had
You
a
mean
jury,
he
and
was
it was a
convic-
jury
he was
trial.
convicted?
He was
Oh,
convicted.
that kind of stuff happens all the
You
time.
know, but
No.
yeah, but it upset him so much that when he
It couldn't have happened here because I've been here 30.
it did
40
happen
years.
here. It just happened here about 2 years ago, right? Right over there.
Then
Might have been a different courtroom.
No, it wasn't your court. You had to go down to the
Yeah.
Brigham down at Brigham Court or the Box Elder County jail or
no, it
whatever.
wouldn't be Box
That's
Elder
where they
County,
put him.
It would be district court.
Yeah.
We do use the county jail if somebody
Yeah.
needs to be incarcerated.
Anyway, he.
Are they? Do you know who the ADA Title II coordinator is over at the jail?
Americans with disability?
Yeah.
No.
Well, I know you don't have one here at City Hall.
Right.
But anyway, this
And
guy,
we're working on getting that fixed. You need to
Quite
come
a
into
story.
compliance.
You want us to have a jail?
No, we're
No,
talking
you
about
don't need
City
no
Hall.
jail.
City Hall and the police department needs to have an ADA
Actually,
Title
I'd
II
like
coordinator.
To see you guys merge with the sheriff's department.
You know, my brother-in-law, who was the chief of police in Brigham some time ago, had thought
What's his
it would-
name?
Oh, it was Paul Tittenservant.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. He kind of thought a unified police force was a good idea.
I just think, you know, it's a small area. But anyway, I was going to finish telling you about this guy. He's going to get out of jail. He called me and he wanted me to serve some papers. He wanted me to serve papers on the sheriff. And I said, I read his paper, the sheriff. I said, it'll do one of two things. You kill, or it will get you in prison the rest of your life. And he says, well, if you won't serve him, can I serve him? And I said, yeah, you can serve him, but I'm just giving you a heads up that if you serve him, you're probably going to go to jail or die. Really? Yep. And a month later, he's dead. They get
Did he now?
what they call a, what do you call it, a road.
If you're having so much fun, can't I have a little?
You can have a little, yeah.
Yeah, you need to get out of that place and have a little.
Yeah.
But anyway, they.
I imagine
when they
it can
bring
get
in
pretty mundane in that
cops
courtroom.
into a box, and you have to go through it, and they're going to arrest him. And he decided to try to break through it, and they killed him.
Oh.
But I'll tell you how far they went. They not only killed him, but they took his body down to the Utah State University, and they took all his parts, and they took his car, and the FBI picked up his car and took it down, and did all this before they even told his family. I went to this funeral the very next week. There was only 5 of us that showed up there, but the brother that set up the funeral was conveniently put in jail that day. So it's like,
Why?
because they're being watched. I mean, it's like that's what's monitored. Could have helped on that a lot, you know, if they'd actually seen what happened. Because this is a good kid. He was Adam. Anyway, he was a good kid. He didn't deserve that to happen to him. But I will say one thing in their defense. He was screwing around with drugs. And anytime they start screwing around with drugs, they're asking for it.
Well, it messes up how you think,
No,
and perceive the world,
everything, and it's always going to get you caught somewhere.
and it makes you less of a contributing member to society usually.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's why I couldn't. I mean, I read his letter and I said, I can't see what you're trying. He's trying to sue the sheriff for $50 billion or some damn ridiculous thing, you know. And he says, you can't do that. You can't sue a judge. You can't sue a police officer. You can't. What you do, if you're going to sue somebody, you got to sue their corporation. And I said, you might have a chance, but it's not likely that that'll even work. But anyway, he really.
I have friends that do that all the time
Yeah.
and win.
Well, nice to have met you.
Nice to have met you as well.
Well, you see that there's some marshals. I've got 100 marshals in the state. So, but we're not paid. We're volunteer.
Well,
All we do is just try to keep the peace. We're not law enforcement. I've had one of them arrested for impersonating an officer, which when he went to court, I explained to the judge what it was all about, and he was all right with it. You know, it's no big deal. But where he made his mistake is he put his badge on the outside. And we don't wear our badges on the outside.
okay. So he kind of faked somebody out.
Yeah. I said, that's impersonating.
Yeah.
We carry our badges in our pocket or in our wallet.
So are you the one that issues the badges?
I am.
And you got 30,000, more than 30,000 of them? Is that
No, we've only got about 100
in the state?
in the state.
Okay.
There's probably a lot more around, you know, but it's kind of, when it's free, you're not going to get a whole lot of volunteers, you know, to go out and do stuff for free, but
Well, our Constitution is important.
it is very important.
The law, because we're all responsible for the law and compliance. And if the law isn't perfect, which sometimes it's not, it needs adjusted, but that's okay. There's ways to do that.
if you study the Constitution from the beginning, it's actually a slave Constitution. So when they first come out with the Constitution, it took them like 20 years before it caught on because people didn't want it. They said, that's entrapping us. You know, so
We're on a road of progression.
but you got to have something.
Yes.
I mean, you got to have something. You got to have some guidelines somewhere. Otherwise, we'll run amok.
And the Constitution is the best I know in the world for
When it's
protecting
used.
people's
Yeah.
rights and controlling government.
When it's adhered to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I've been to courts that they say we do not mention the Constitution.
really,
in this
I
court.
mention it every time.
Well, and you know, all the smart judges do. Like, I get a kick out of Maynard. The first thing he says, "Are you giving up your constitutional rights?" I say, yes.
Absolutely
Why
not.
are you giving up your constitutional rights? Tell him no. I'm not going to give that up.
Well, you get to choose. You don't have to give them up. But like, even for sentencing, Utah Rules of Criminal Procedure 22A provides for a delay in sentencing. And that applies to all the courts. And the reason for that is it could have been a traumatic trial and they don't want to have all that emotion. So they give you at least 2 days before you sentence, but no more than 45. And that's a right that's just there to protect people, but then they can decide whether they want to apply it or not.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't actually have to come back out and say hello
Oh,
to
I
you
know.
guys, but I thought,
My dad was a judge,
what was his name?
Harvey Meekum, but that's ancient in Morgan. He used to fishing game. They used to take guns and all kinds of things away from people.
They still, if
Do
you
they still
get
do
caught,
that?
yeah, hunting and fishing or poaching, then you
Yeah,
lose
he
those
used to take it
tools.
pretty serious. He put me in jail once and showed me what it was like. I was in for an hour and he said, I've had enough.
Well, good. You didn't ever had to go back, huh?
No, I've never been to jail.
They've given us some tours, but we've never been behind the bars on the
Yeah.
inmate side.
I have no criminal
You know,
record.
actually, I mean, I hate to say this, but if you want to have good judges, put them behind the bar for 30 days. Then they'll think twice about what they're putting behind the bars. I think they would think twice about, maybe this isn't such a good thing. Because it's not good for everybody.
It's not. And incapacitation is one of the last things that we want to do in encouraging people to be better citizens and comply.
Yep.
What do you mean by comply?
Pardon? Comply?
Comply.
With the rules. The legislature, Congress makes the rules.
Yeah. I just hate the word.
Well,
What's that?
I just hate the word.
everybody
Comply?
hates the word
Yeah.
comply.
Which word do you like best to indicate that you're a good citizen?
Free?
Free, that's a good word.
Yeah.
It's like saying, somebody called me one time and asked me, we need to change our word from government to something else. And they says, can you come up with a word that's different than government? And I says, no, there isn't one. And I says, but I says, I can come up with one if you want it, but you might not like it.
You know what the definition
What it
of
is?
government is?
Well, share with me your definition of government.
My definition is religion.
Okay. The actual definition
Religion are about the same.
comes from Latin and Greek.
All churches are governed
Okay.
the same way.
Well, the only thing
They're
is,
different.
I'm
but
just
they're-
talking about the definition, the exact definition of government. In Latin and Greek, it means mind control. That's the definition of government.
Actually, a government is supposed to be, they're supposed to function as somebody that really cares about their citizens.
Govern is
that's what I see
control.
it as.
It should be.
Ment is
do
mental.
the best you can for 'em.
Mental control. That's the actual definition of government.
I mean, there are some people
Okay.
you can't control.
Some that refuse
Yeah.
to do anything that is for
Oh, they
someone
just don't
else's
kill you
benefit.
to look at you.
Yeah.
I've been around them. I know. I know.
I
that-
think I've met one.
And I'm one that just believes in freedom, the right to liberty,
I had a cat once.
being able to do whatever I want to do as long as I don't violate the rights of another person.
Immigration police. I had one hat like that, and this Mexican.
That works.
Yeah.
He says, "You ain't gonna do nothing to me." He says, "I'll kill you before you try to do anything to me." And I says, "I'm not trying to do anything to you. This is just my hat." You know? And it took me about 5 minutes to make him realize I wasn't trying to do anything to him, you know. But
Okay.
that's what a peacemaker does. I've never been in a fight in my life, not even one.
Really?
Because
I've been in many.
learned at a young age to learn how to talk myself out of those things.
No brothers or sisters?
Oh, well, yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah, I about killed my one brother once.
That was an excellent question.
Yeah, that is, I never thought about that. I don't know what stopped me from killing my own brother. I was ready to. He was just one of them. He just antagonized me and antagonized me and pushed me right to the brink.
Jeez, that sounds like cops.
Yeah, well, yeah, he could have been, I guess, but something stopped me and didn't do anything. But
Yeah, Manaway's a beautiful little valley.
it is.
Got a lot of history here.
Yeah,
No.
1863.
Is it true,
two,
Brigham, trying to
so-
take your water from you?
Well, actually, all that is Brigham's water. They did condemn some of my grandpa's property that was out here to put the reservoir in, and
They got a nice setup over there.
yeah,
Yeah.
for fishing and yeah. It's a
What kind of fish
beautiful
they got in there, do you know?
Trout. They've got several different types.
bass, perch.
Oh, yeah?
My wife saw somebody with a fish about that big the other day, putting it in a bag. I was driving, so my eyes were on the road, and I didn't see it. But
What kind of fishing do you do?
I don't fish, but there's
Oh.
a lot of people who do.
I
Okay.
bought the last license I bought was for 5 years and never went once. I thought I should be fishing instead of what I do.
Well,
Fishing, but fishing can be pretty antagonizing too, especially if you take a couple kids with you.
oh, if you're worried about risk and them falling in or
Yeah.
slipping on a rock and
Well,
getting
getting
hurt,
the kids get their things tangled up, books in their fingers, and
yes, lots of things.
yeah,
Risk management is important.
they do a lot of ice fishing here.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, it's a big for ice fishing.
And our country is great, and I love Manaway.
Well, you must love Trump. Are you going to hold your thought like me for a year? I say that's why everybody says, "What do you think of Trump?" And I says, "I'm going to tell you in a year from now."
Don't talk politics. So thank you, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But the Constitution I do love. And anything that you guys are doing to encourage people to understand it and comply, government,
Government should comply, yes.
then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because, and we've changed the Constitution over the years, and
There's
there
been,
may be changes.
there's
in the
28 amendments.
future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only one change that I know of that they should have never changed.
Which
And
one's
that's
that?
that a bar lawyer can't hold office. It used to be the original Constitution. If you was a bar lawyer, or you're a what do they call them?
What's interesting is now you have to be
I
a
know.
Juris Doctorate to be any judge.
Well, when I run for judge, you didn't have to be have any kind of stuff.
Well, you
But
had to.
Shortly after that, they changed that you do. Well, that's the last person you should have do that.
Well, they just barely changed it a couple of years ago.
Did they?
That requires the education of a Juris Doctorate to even apply for a judicial position. It used to be you just had to common sense.
Some of them are elected offices in other states, though, and if they're elected, then anyone can run.
How you guys? Howdy.
Hi, Marcus. This is the marshal
How you doing?
and the cameraman.
Hi,
Vigilance
cameraman. It's on YouTube already, I hear.
Oh, really?
Oh, it could be.
Committee. And it could be that Utah Defender went ahead and published. Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever it is. I have public work. I'm the public works director. I just do my. He calls me.
You keep this place looking good, huh?
I have my guys do it. Usually. Today I'm getting down and dirty, but
He's
Well,
very busy.
sometimes it takes good supervision to get the job done.
I don't know how.
Marcus does a great job, and you can
publish.
publish this. Marcus is a fantastic public works director for a little community of Manaway.
Oh,
You have to take care of
good.
those.
I hope they're
places
paying you well.
too.
No, they're not. I'm the lowest paid public works director, and the second in the state, and the lowest in the county.
Wow.
But that's just something that we don't need to talk about.
Yeah.
That's I don't really care. I love this town, so that's what makes a difference.
There you go. You'd probably do it for free if you could. If you didn't have to live.
It's time.
If you already had money, you'd probably do it for free. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for talking to us.
Have a good one.
You're not filming right now, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm always filling.
He always films.
I'm always
Doesn't mean he'll.
recording government officials in the course of their
I'm
duties.
just afraid you might smack him or something.
Not me. Yeah, that's.
And I may or may not publish. A lot of times I don't publish a lot. So,
We're all in it together.
yeah, we are.
I've been here 4 or 5 times longer than any other employee here, and I've seen it come and go. All this stuff, but I've learned that I
You know
always.
Chad Wilson down the street?
Nope. I'd probably be about the only person I don't know in this town. But I always take a step back when it comes to situations, and this is a situation, and analyze it before I just attack.
Yeah.
Publish,
And
yeah.
analyze, and I've gotten really good at it, but there's always a middle.
Middle ground.
Yeah.
I like to study every aspect before
Is he one
jumping
of
the
your
gun.
guys?
He's a very good friend of mine, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There goes one of my guys. He's quitting work early. That's not good.
He's very opinionated. When he finds out something, he's a hard charger with it.
He's the one that gets away with more stuff
That's
I've ever seen.
press.
Did a lady in town get a hold of him?
Yeah.
He takes press really,
Yeah,
really.
I've already gotten texts.
It's a small town, right? 1,500 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, word gets around.
Dakota's a human being. That's all I can say. I can't really say anything because I can't say anything. But
Who's the Dakota? The chief?
yeah,
Yeah, we've already dealt with him a
I
little
heard.
bit.
Yeah.
He didn't have something to say much to him, but he's all right. He seems okay.
yeah.
But-
he tries. It's a learning process for all of us every day.
Hmm.
You just
Yeah.
gotta.
It's just that when you get out, when we go everywhere,
I heard.
and I hear all this stuff, and Manaway comes up almost all the time somewhere about the how many tickets they give, how awful they are, and this stuff. And I mean, when you do that, you think maybe there is a problem.
There could be a problem. And sometimes that stuff it builds. You take one step and it's.
Yeah.
And in the
Pretty
last
serious.
10 years, Manaways have been on. There was about 5 years ago they were on the national news.
For tickets?
Yeah.
Tickets.
Oh yeah, that was the other guy.
Yeah.
And then we had another one that refused to give out tickets, and another one
Up on the highway, out of jurisdiction.
Yep, and another
Yeah.
one that refused to give out tickets because they were peace officers or whatever. But
Right.
this town, we don't have any businesses in this town at all. Nothing, zero. We got one campground in it.
They're
Are they doing something to attract business?
A lot of them want to just keep it rural. It's slowly changing, but
Yeah.
it makes it hard because actually Manaway has one of the highest per capita incomes in the state. I think it's in the top 3 or 4%. It has a higher per capita income than Park City.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Nope, it does. That's why we can't get grants.
Wow. Is he gonna attack me? Oh, that's cheap.
Yeah. See, it's kind of nice to just sit back and they'll come to me. And I just record.
It is interesting. You guys
Yeah.
are interesting.
We're just looking out for the rights of people, man. That's the whole purpose of this. It's for our kids and their kids and their kids after that. We want to make sure that freedom is preserved and the Constitution is honored and obeyed by our government officials. It's that simple.
Well,
The limitations are on them, not us.
if you let them go run amok, they will.
They have.
If they get that much power, it'll be like, who was it?
Did you notice he didn't answer the question, are we a free country? He didn't answer it.
Yeah. No, he didn't.
Because we're not.
See ya. You taking off? We're gonna take off here pretty quick.
I'm always in the middle. I'm gifted at that.
We're just kind of taking in the view, and I just live down. I live in the lower end of Brigham, but I get up here once in a while, but not much.
We were looking actually for people that were up here paying their tickets.
I did a lot of furnaces over
Oh, you
there.
didn't see any, huh?
Yeah, no. I guess they can come and pay their tickets between 1 and 3 p.m., right?
Yeah, they have court right now, but
Yeah.
Well, he came out and talked to us for quite a while.
The judge?
He
Yeah.
didn't like to be filmed though.
No,
Yeah.
no. But
Well, ever since
you guys keep up the good work.
everything,
I appreciate it. We need this.
Christensen's is the one that's bringing everything to us. You know, it's
The judge?
yeah, Christensen.
Yeah.
That's, you mark my word though, he'll walk away scot free. Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to us. Yeah.
Well, that was interesting. All
See,
right.
he's torn between two people, huh?
Yeah, he's in the middle. He's caught in the middle. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. Head back to the car. I think we're going to call it a day. See you on the next one.